AP US History students, this is Mr. Russ. It's Thursday, or it should be Thursday when you're watching this. This is like my fifth take of trying to do this, so it's going to be a lot of small videos here, just so you're aware of that. Hopefully by now, if you're watching these videos, first thing that happened is you've already read The Man in the Gray Suit. The second thing is that you've been given the Harry Truman article, which I know does have a swear word in it, but that's okay. You'll get over it. Your assignment for that article is to read it and come up with two responses to some of the questions in the end there. You can pick any two questions you want to. I understand that if some of the questions can't be answered because you don't have all the information that you need to answer them, you simply won't answer them. That's okay. All right. You also should have received an email from me that gives you a copy of an exemplary thesis paragraph from from about a week and a half ago. Please make sure you take some time to compare your writing to the paper that I gave to you, because that paper is a 15 out of 15, and it's always good to see maybe where you can improve and what techniques you can maybe do to help to get a higher score in the future. I'm going to spend some time today talking about guided discussions number 5 and number 6. I'm going to tell you right now that I'm going to be talking at a much faster pace than I normally do in class because A, you can stop this and rewind it, and B, I'm not so sure about my recording device right now because it's kicked me off a couple of times. So I'm a little frustrated, but I'm going to get through it, all right? So what that means for you is you can stop this if you need to, press rewind, go back over it again. That's great news for you, probably bad news for the internet. So please make sure that you take plenty of notes off of this. You have all been shared the Unit 13 presentation, so please take a look at that as well, and use it to kind of guide you through these discussions. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is the response to the Cold War at home. Because of the fear of an all-out nuclear war, many Americans began to build bomb shelters and nuclear shelters in case of a nuclear bomb going off in their area. Schools would actually practice air raids, and school children had to crawl under desks and prepare for, covering their heads in case there was a bomb that was dropped. And some schools actually had metal tags in which students were given. They were given to students, and they can identify the bodies in case there was a nuclear attack. So pretty scary stuff. And the scary stuff was actually part of what we would consider a broader picture of this, the Second Red Scare. The Second Red Scare was the second Red Scare in American history. And it was caused, it was basically a fear that communism was going to take over the United States. Now, the Second Red Scare was caused by three things. Number one, the emergence of the Cold War. Number two, the intensified fear of communism because China was taken over by communism. And number three, the Soviet Union exploding their first atomic bomb in 1949. So again, the Cold War, communism in China, and atomic bomb for the Soviets in 1949 were the causes of the Second Red Scare. Now, in 1947, the House of Representatives assembled the House Committee on Un-American Activities. House Committee on Un-American Activities, HUAC, H-U-A-C. This group began to investigate people in Hollywood, and the reason why HUAC went after Hollywood is they believed that communists were sneaking propaganda into movies, and that because of this, they felt the need to question screenwriters, directors, actors, and others. Now, those witnesses who refused to testify because they thought they were bogus claims, well, guess what? They essentially were blacklisted and not allowed to be employed anymore. All right? And so for a lot of people, they kind of felt like they were forced to do this. Another very important trial occurred in 1948 with HUAC. They began to investigate Alger Hiss. Alger Hiss was accused by this guy named Whittaker Chambers of being a communist agent when he was working in the State Department in the 1930s. Now, because time had passed when these accusations came forward, the statute of limitations was essentially done. they couldn't try Al-Jarhis for those crimes. But what they did do was they tried him for perjury. They said that he had lied under oath, and he ended up serving, I think, 3.5 years of a sentence that was supposed to be two congruent 5-year penalties. And his maintained his innocence. You can see his picture again on the presentation. But it's important because this leads to the fear that, hey, somebody's working in the State Department and they're a communist. Oh my God, what else is going on that we don't know about? All right? This is slide 1 here. I'm going to stop recording here and put this up real quick.